Jeff and Mike have stripped down the entire frame.
But this is what we do. Another day at Legendary Customs.
We're selling it!
I'm Chris Meyer. Join me and the Legendary Customs team as we take ordinary rides and craft them into legendary customs. '66 GTO. Where are we today? We are in the paint booth. Why are we in the paint booth? Because all of the metal repair is finally completed. As you know, we had to chase the floor for some pinholes. Some of the pinholes were so bad, we just cut the panels out and put in brand new. But tomorrow, Thursday, this is going to be in a sealer epoxy. Yes, a sealer epoxy. It's just a standard epoxy. You had 10% reducer in it, and it actually helps it seal out the elements. A standard epoxy by itself will not seal out the elements for a long period of time. So we had 10% reducer, helps it out, and then over that, we use a seam sealer. So all of these areas have to be seam sealed. Up here, all of that all gets sealed up. Why? Because otherwise water and stuff gets in between the panels and it's not a good day. All of this seam sealed. And then we'll hit it with a high build primer. 3 coats of that, and that is what we will start working. And that will help us get the lows and the highs out. The front firewall, we already did some fiberglass work. That fiberglass is stronger than a standard Bondo. That's why we used it. And that just builds up, makes it strong. We're going to do a smooth firewall on this. It's about another 2 hours worth of work that is not required. It's going to be a rocking and rolling car. This thing's going to be fast as hell if you want to use the power. Of course, the tunnel with the media blaster took and gave it a little bit of a texture with the glass, and that will help the paint stick. This thing is coming along. We started it, I think we're on month 2, maybe 2.5, and it's going into paint. The hood, the doors, and the trunk, all the bodywork is completed up to the point of the fit and finish. So we'll hang them on the car and then we'll make sure the body lines line up. But the doors, the trunk, the hood, they are smooth as glass. They are actually almost ready for paint, but we'll have to adjust them a little bit to fit the gaps and such. All right. 1 coat of epoxy primer is on, part of the exterior. Obviously, you have to do the floor. So this is something I'm always worried about. Something that can be overcome. The last body shop really used some aggressive sandpaper when stripping the paint. You know, I don't know if that's 80 grit or even more aggressive than 80, down to 50 or 30. But there's some pretty deep gouges in there. Now, why am I worried? It's called shrinkage. Yes, men, it's not the shrinkage of when you jumped into a cold pond. It's the glaze that you put on there. It does have some shrink factor. And you can have a perfectly smooth paint job, and then everything underneath shrinks into these grooves, and then that will show up later on. So, what's the fix? The fix literally is putting everything on, doing your first coat of bodywork, letting it settle for 2 weeks, and then do your next level of bodywork. All the shrinkage will happen in that 2 weeks, and you won't have any of that coming back in. If you hurry right through it, it will shrink, and you will see that in the future. But anyway, Zach's doing a great job being on the rotisserie. He can spin it, do what he needs to do. All is coming along great. Alrighty, as you can see, Jeff and Mike have stripped down the entire frame. Mike is pulling the axles, taking off the backer plates, which will no longer be used because we're switching over to discs. And then that will go off to paint and powder coat also. I am extremely happy with the frame. Surface rust, but it does not look like there's going to be any pitting whatsoever. So I'm going to have the guys clean up stuff like this. It's just weld slate from the factory. Just little things. And then this goes to powder coating today. They stripped it down in 2.5 hours. Not bad at all. Looking really good. On to the snowmobile trailer. Off to the powder coaters. Hopefully we'll have it back next week. Then the body assembly begins. Jeff and Mike have this ready to start undercoating. As you can see, everything is in an epoxy primer. Now that epoxy primer, we did add 10% reducer in it, which makes it a sealer. And then on all of the seams, it actually has a seam sealer on it. So that's done after the epoxy is put on. So it is ready to go. Everything is taped off so we don't spray that Raptor through to the other side. But this will make this vehicle basically no worries about getting caught in the rain, no new rust forming on the floor, all of that. As you can see, the 1966 GTO has been fully undercoated with the Raptor liner. And again, this is a very inexpensive way to protect this car forever and have it look good. Some bed liners or undercoatings are kind of a dull, flat look. The Raptor liner has a nice satin look to it. When you need to clean it, it cleans very easy. And again, everything was seam sealed. The Raptor liner going on is almost another seal product for all those seams. Again, on the front, the firewall, that up will be gloss black. That down is, as you can see, Raptor liner. With it being a black vehicle, that's not going to stick out that much. The entire transmission tunnel lined up. This thing is looking great, and it's going to be upstairs in about an hour, and the bodywork will start.
Teamwork.
Inch left, 1 inch. On down. Side driver, one side not, and they all spin. They all spin. Sort of. They all spin, it's not well.
Woo! Got a little vibration. Welcome to the ghetto. Yeah, so this is what we do. It's worked. Pray for us. We've never had any issues. And we hope to never have any issues. But this is what we do. Another day at Legendary Customs. Successful trip up the hill.
What's kind of weird with your butt in my face? Well, I was lifting up on those. I was very motivated to get it done. That was strategic that way.
There we go.
Yes.
It's in.
Body work it on the stand until the frame is here.
Now, as you guys saw the other day, this came out of the paint booth. It is epoxy sealed, and then everything's in a high build primer. And the guys are doing the final glazing to get things straight. A little bit of work on the roof that we knew. And then get around here to the front. Making that front as smooth as we can get. So that'll have a smooth front, black up top, black on the bottom. All this black is going to be durable for the roads if needed. Just awesome. One step at a time, closer every time. Now, Corey, if you're watching this, see the angle of this car? That's a bad thing. When it has wheels and an engine and all that, never be at this angle. All right? Promise me.